No Man's Sky is so boring, I thought it was already on Xbox. Hello, and welcome to Video Games. I'm Kotaku.com's professional video game liker, Tim Rogers.
And I'm Kotaku staff writer, Gita Jackson. While rapping along to Logic's song 44 More, streamer Ninja adlibbed the N-word, a word not actually present in the original song. Literally last week, Tim and I were talking about how Ninja seems like a cool guy. Turns out, he's just an average guy. He's since apologized, saying, "I promise that I understand how much pain that word causes, even if it gets used a lot in music and elsewhere. It's a word historically used to divide people, and I'm about bringing people together." I really want to believe that. I just want there to be one good, cool guy that I can watch play video games for hours. Is that too much to ask?
Holy switch! Nyko docs are bricking switches. I gotta say, it's pretty weird to be 38 years old and have a job that involves literally speaking the words "Nyko docs are bricking switches" into a microphone. Well, anyway, apparently these conveniently low-priced portable docks are locking up some Nintendo Switches that download Nintendo's new 5.0 firmware. Users are reporting lost data and unusable hardware. I gotta say, look on the bright side. At least the docks aren't electrocuting anyone. Losing your Breath of the Wild save file isn't half as bad as losing the breath of the lungs in your rib cage.
In this intimate interview with Jason Schreier, Taro, the director of Nier Automata, reveals that he's just as insecure as all the rest of us. Despite having made some interesting and acclaimed games, Taro says that he still sees himself as someone who hasn't succeeded in life, and it makes him think that he's broken in some way. Almost every creative person I've ever met has told me some variation of the same thing. It's not all pessimistic. Taro told Jason that while he doesn't have much hope for humanity, he also thinks the younger generation might still pull through. Thanks?
Boys are calling out girls for playing Fortnite Mobile. If I'm reading this correctly, the boys are saying girls are chasing clout by playing Fortnite on mobile. I'll translate that into pre-millennial slang. They're saying girls playing Fortnite Mobile are posers. Patricia Hernandez provided an avalanche of tweets from disillusioned male teens on Kotaku this week. And I gotta say, these kids are doing it wrong. When I was a teenager, girls would kick your shoe out from under you for even thinking about a video game. These kids should be ecstatic that another person is interested in something they are also interested in.
Swashbuckling pirate game Sea of Thieves had a rocky launch, and developer Rare has been trying to address players' concerns over lack of content by adding new features. One such feature was a death tax. After death, players would have some of their gold taken from them as a penalty. This kind of thing was the exact opposite of what players wanted, and they warned Rare that this would make the community more toxic and also make the game unwelcoming for new players. They warned Rare so loudly that the proposed death tax is no longer happening.
Netflix is making a Carmen Sandiego movie. Remember when Netflix said they were making a Castlevania series, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, sure, lol," and then suddenly it came out and it was kinda good? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and forget about this Carmen Sandiego thing tomorrow, so that I can be like, why not, later? Like, will I watch a Carmen Sandiego movie starring Gina Rodriguez as Carmen Sandiego? I want to joke and be like, only if they bring back Rockapella, or only if Netflix lets me turn off those godforsaken auto-playing trailers. Though the answer is obviously, duh, of course I will.
Far Cry 5. It's a video game. Ethan Gatch writes in his review that while he's had a good time with portions of the game, the story feels a bit empty. The game's missions flow organically together and let you shift from capturing a cult outpost using an array of weapons and explosives to scaling cliffs in search of hidden caches of equipment and lore-filled collectibles, he writes. These are still silly worlds full of silly people, and no amount of gravitas about the world being on the edge can be sustained in a game that so frequently sends you into hunts for cow testicles, or stunt races such as the theme song of a retro Daredevil.
Dragon Quest XI has an English release date. It'll be out for PlayStation 4 and PC on September 4th. Some eager Dorakue fans tweeted their dismay at me. They want the 3DS version. I have played the PS4 and 3DS versions. Let me tell you, the PS4 version is where it's at. One thing that irks me about this news, Square Enix says the English release will have an quote-unquote improved UI. I take this to mean they're going to replace the Japanese original's perfect shade of dark gray with a tacky high-resolution parchment background. causing non-fans to surprisedly scream, "Oh my god, it looks just like a book," day one purchase. By the way, the Nintendo Switch version's release date has not even been announced in Japan, so who knows when that's coming.
No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox One this summer and also getting a huge update called Next. This game's been pretty fun for a while, and I'm sure the upcoming enormous free update that adds features will continue to make the game interesting. I was one of those freaks that had a good time with No Man's Sky at launch, so I'm excited to see more players get a chance to get buzzed and listen to podcasts while they take pictures of weird animals in space. If you're not interested in this game or this news, cool for you! I can't wait to read your comment. So that this week, I am going to immediately go home and play lots of Far Cry 5. I want to pet some dogs. Please give me all your video game dogs.
I just woke up! I'm gonna go back to sleep.